Rotate device. See, I knew it wasn't going to let me do that. I wanted to do this so that it wasn't looking like a phone. But because of how I go live on this device, I'm forced to put it sideways. I am sorry that once again it's going to be very difficult to read anybody's comments. It is sadly the internet is still out at my home, and which is I'm telling you, it's frustrating in a level that especially if you're creating content. I mean, it would be one thing if I was just hanging out and just being me. Hey, Tommy Bird, good to see you. It would be one thing if I was just hanging out and it was just watching YouTube. But I watched YouTube last night on a phone. It's difficult. I can't really type very well on a phone. It's hard for me because of the size of my ridiculously large hands. I end up mashing a bunch of keys at the same time, so I don't do a whole lot of correspondence with my telephone. So it's been really crippling the lifeboat. So I apologize, and there will be more of me once I can get my internet hooked back up. I should have somebody coming out this afternoon that's supposed to take a look at this, and because it says when you go onto their site, they claim that everybody that lives in my zip code is good. Not zip code. Yeah, zip code. Everybody that lives in my zip code has internet and power. No, they don't. Our power goes in and out. It's been fairly consistent. In the last 24 hours, it's been way better than it was. But it is still, it's still not a lock that the power is going to stay on all day. These storms were epic. One of the coolest things I've ever seen, and I'm going to find it and I'm going to post it up on, the Facebook page. There's a video that somebody made of the monsoon coming in and hitting Tucson, and the thing is sped up into about a 40-second clip of film. And when the water comes, and I mean really starts to drop, you've never seen anything like it. I mean, it looks like a river. It really it makes me wonder what Nick went through. That is, I Am the Noise Opera, our brother Nick, who's up in Canada, and they had this atmospheric river, they called it, and that's all I could envision when I saw this thing sped up, is that it looked like an atmospheric river. It looked like something just dumping all of its water out at the same time. By the way, yesterday was Nick's birthday, so if you see I Am the Noise Opera, man, say happy birthday to him. I'm really bummed out that I missed that yesterday. But in my defense, I am without internet. It's making life absolutely a challenge. Now, today is Sunday. I do a show on Rumble. Last Sunday was the first time I did it. It's a show where I talk about my beliefs. If it's not your cup of tea, fantastic. We'll see you over here. I will be here tonight at 5 o'clock if I have to go to another house. And currently, I'm in Phoenix. Looks like it's going to rain. Mind over matter, don't say that. Keep it in Phoenix with you. Do not let it get up. Last night we got another. The monsoon thing is relatively new to me. I did live in Phoenix for about a year and a half, and I lived in Tucson for 2 years, maybe right at 2 years. But this was incarcerated, and when you're incarcerated, everything sucks. There's nothing you can do to you just have to say, all right, this is it, and this is it in a hot climate. So if I'm going to work out, or I'm going to go outside, or I'm going to do anything, this is where I have to do it. And it's different than living here. And I love it. I'm happy as I could possibly be living in Tucson. That said, these storms were pretty rugged. They really were. I mean, I was looking at one of the fruit trees outside, and I thought, man, something has been eating the leaves on this. I've got 4 fruit trees. Not exactly sure what they are. I mean, I know what they are. I just don't know which one is which. A far more intelligent person would look and be like, that's limes. That's grapefruits, but they're all citrus trees. And I thought something was eating the leaves. There's holes in all the leaves, and they're torn up and shredded on the outside. And I'm like, whatever ate it, it had to have been like the locust. It had to be a swarm of them. And then I realized that it was every tree in the back of my home, and it's just from the hail that came down. The hail just, honestly, there were entire sections of my driveway that were white, looked like snow. It was It was absolutely brutal. I've never seen anything like it. It just the sky opened up, and for about 40 minutes, it just dumped hail and rain as loud and as ferocious as you've ever seen, and the winds were picking up. Like the gentleman that got that we bought the house from had a like a recycling garbage can. You know how you rent your garbage cans, or they give you your garbage cans, and that's how you bring the stuff out to the curb. Well, there's a recycling one and there's a regular garbage one, and his recycling one is still here. He didn't take it with him, which apparently you're supposed to, but it was filled with things that you could recycle, and the vast majority of them were all steel. And the weight in this thing had to go 70 pounds. I mean, it's really got a lot of metal in it. And that garbage can was probably 75 feet from where I left it. And amazingly, I had left it in a cove. Like where the garage comes out, there's a wall there and it juts out maybe 2 or 3 feet past the garage, kind of like a facade. And I had it against that and against the wall. And it just, yeah, it picked it up and threw it around like there was nothing to it. Yeah, happy birthday to Nick. Nick is a great guy. And if ever there has been an example of the crew of the lifeboat having an effect on somebody's life, and I have discussed this with Nick, and he's completely at ease with me talking about it. But Nick was an angry person, and he met all of you, and everybody just started to care. And I think the real turning point was actually that storm I was talking about. I can't I wasn't there. I can't do justice to how bad this storm was. But what I can tell you is that there were sections of road and bridges that were just gone, just from rain. I mean, completely decimated this city that he was in. And it was hairy. And he was, about every 3 or 4 hours, he would get a message off to me that said, I'm all right. It's raining really hard, and he would break down things. I just saw a car go by my house. There was some video of it that was pretty crazy stuff that he was able to get some video of. But everybody and their brother started praying for him, and there was just a lot of people reaching out, and a lot of people telling him that we were concerned about him. And man, the cat just did like a 180. He has become the kindest person you would ever want to meet. Nick is he is the salt of the earth. He's a great guy to have on the lifeboat, because he just sort of embodies everything that we're trying to do. He doesn't judge anybody. He's just a great guy. He really is. So happy birthday, Nick, man. We love you. We really do. Very, very happy. Very, very happy that Nick is on the boat and that he's doing great. It's good stuff. Happy birthday. Day late. I hate it when I'm a day late. But that is the facts. Last night, I was watching Growing Up in Scientology. Probably a shocker, right? But I was watching Growing Up in Scientology, and the Aaron had on a guest, and it was 3 hours. It was a 3 hour live stream. Batten down the hatches. Yeah. So his live stream went 3 hours, of a guy who very much fancies himself an academic and an intellectual, and he very well might be. He certainly speaks well. He has a degree, I believe, in linguistics, and he's looking, perhaps, the video I've seen of those storms was epic. Yeah, it really was, Tommy Bird. I'm telling you, it was amazing. Hey, Yankee Kyle, good to see you. So he has this gentleman on, and the guy's talking about Scientology, and he's doing it from the standpoint of he wants to write a thesis kind of about the good parts of Scientology. And it was a bit of a hostile audience. Everybody was super respectful because it's Aaron's group. I shouldn't say everybody was super respectful. I wasn't even super respectful. But nobody was over the top. It was all definitely done in good fun. The guy had a sense of humor. Like when he got ribbed by people in super chats and whatever, he honestly, I think the guy's probably a pretty good dude. But if you come out and you say, Adolf Hitler's, something that very few of you might know is the guy had a tremendous singing voice, and he was very fond of puppies. Right? Nobody wants to hear that. The guy systematically killed 6 million Jews, and who knows how many gypsies and blacks and every other thing that he thought shouldn't be on the planet, right? But sometimes the things that people do overshadow anything that they do down the road. And I think LRH, with what he did to basically decimate families and separate loved ones, and what that organization does. I mean, if you've never seen the documentary Getting Cleared, is it called Getting Cleared? Going Clear. Going Clear. When were you on Star Trek, Tommy? I am assuming that you're referring to the. That is actually one of Captain Kirk's shirts, and it is signed by Kirk. My acting career, which was, by the way, illustrious. My acting career, I was on. I was have been in a major motion picture. It was not a Star Trek major motion picture. It was one that gets played at the holidays every year. That was with Chevy Chase, but that was the end. No, so that was not. But I'm a huge fan. I absolutely love Star Trek. I like sci-fi in general. In fact, L. Ron Hubbard wrote great science fiction. 35 years now. Yankee Kyle, proud of you, brother. Yeah, Tommy Bird. I'm going to tell you something. And just the way that the storm rolled in, like it rolled in, the sky opened the hell up, and it was just vicious. Driving on my road from up here down to where I sort of get on the main thoroughfare in my neighborhood, right, the big street. Every single house that I passed had something wrong with the roof. Every single house that I passed had roof damage. I caught that stream as well. Never heard someone say so much, yet so little, says Jason. And you know what? That is an epic, perfect description. Honestly, I understand if you study linguistics, and if you're a guy that really gets into the etymology of words and how everything came to be. I think sometimes you can get so trapped up in trying to use your words to paint some kind of a mosaic with your voice, right? To show people that, hey, check this out. Look how well I'm doing at this whole speaking thing. And sometimes that really can take away from your message. And that happened, I think, last night with I believe the cat's name was Jason, but he was a guy that was willing to concede points, and I think, it was framed kind of as a debate, and I don't think it came across very well as one because this was a guy that wanted to defend the subject that he didn't seem to know a great deal about because of how different his experience in Scientology was compared to everybody else's. I don't think he had the point of reference that he would have needed to be able to sort of defend the better parts of Scientology. And I know that there are better parts of Scientology. 559. Hold on one second, people. You know what? No, I'm not doing that right now. All right, so it is Sunday. I am going to be over on the other channel. I'm going to be over on Rumble at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock on Rumble. All right? Sorry, but I've got somebody that's calling in and saying it is an emergency, and that is always the time where I have to go because that's what the lifeboat is. I apologize, people. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and we will see you tonight on the lifeboat. All right?